Welcome back everyone, I am so glad you're here, and in today's video we are going to be talking about habit trackers, daily habits. If you guys have been part of the planner community for any length of time or have heard of it on YouTube, then you probably already know about a habit tracker. If not, and you're new, I'm super excited that I get to be the one to share them with you. Habit trackers are super awesome for helping instill daily habits that maybe don't come super naturally to you. At least for me, that's how I choose to use it. I use my habit tracker for those daily habits that just don't happen for me on their own. For me, I wake up in the morning, I make a pot of coffee. Like, that's not hard for me to remember. I don't need a habit tracker to tell me to do that. But taking my vitamins every day is not something that I'm very good at. So I have taking vitamins as one of my habits. That's just one example. For me and my personality, I really love checking things off. So habit trackers work really, really great for me. They may not work super great for you, but I really suggest that you try it at least once and see if it's something that can help improve your habits and routines, because it is the easiest and clearest way for you to see, one, growth in your habits, the ability to actually see improvement in how often you do them, and the ability to see if you are actually staying consistent. A habit is built within 21 days. That's like the statistical average. It takes 21 days to start a new habit, and so being able to track a habit over the span of about a month is crucial for you to be able to know if you have instilled that habit into your everyday or not. So I am going to share with you some of the different habit trackers that I have used, as well as ways that you can implement them on your own. There are two things that I would like to mention before we get started and look down at the habits that I have and the ways that I set up my habit tracker. And the first one is how you would like to record your habits. The first way that you can do it is on a monthly basis, which I would say is probably the most common way that I see people in the planner community tracking their habits, is starting at the first of the month on a big old spread and then ending at the end of the month. The way that I do it, and the way that I have seen other people do it, is also on a weekly basis, which for me is just a lot more tangible. If I fall off the bandwagon, it's really easy to get back up. The second way that you can do it is on a weekly basis, which is the way that I've been doing it over the last couple of weeks, and I think that I enjoy it a lot more because, one, you are able to pick back up very quickly if you fall off the bandwagon and you stop a habit. You don't feel lost in this deep abyss that is a whole month. And two, it is right there on my weekly planning. I'll show it to you when we flip over. It's right there in my weekly planner, so I see it. I don't have to go to a spread that's someplace else in my notebook. So that's really hard for me. You spend all this time setting up a monthly habit tracker, and then it's this page all standalone, and I never turn to it because I have no need to. The second thing that I would like to mention, which I forgot, so I'm gonna look it up. The second thing that I would like to mention is how many habits you want to actually track. I don't know about you, but for me, when I start thinking about the habits, like the healthy habits that I want in my life, I start with like one, and then I think of like 50 things that I would love to be doing every single day that are super good for me, and I know I should be doing, but I'm not doing, and I wish I could be doing, therefore I'd like to track them. But here's the catch. Do not write all those down, at least right away. Because if you are living just the average life that most of us are living and not doing all these healthy habits, and then you add 50 healthy habits to your lifestyle, you will be overwhelmed. And then you won't do any of them because you'll be overwhelmed. So what I would suggest that you do, if you have 0 habits, pick maybe 3 or 4 and do those for a month. And then every week or so, you can slowly add in more habits as you show success in the habits you've already clearly established. So if you are still struggling with those 4 habits that you picked, don't add another one until you've got those habits down, at least consistently enough that you can say that you do them, I don't know, more than 2/3 of your week. Then you can start adding in more habits, but don't add them all at once because you'll just get burnt out. All right, so this is the vast majority of my inserts that I own, and I have tabbed real quickly just a few of the habit trackers from the past 5 years that I thought would be useful for you guys, as well as showing you the habit tracker that I have set up for this current week. So this is an example of a monthly tracker. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 habits that I was tracking, and I feel like 7's a pretty good number. You can see X's meant that I achieved them, the lines through meant that I didn't, and I was pretty consistent for the most part. I had it right next to my September goals, which I feel like was probably helpful for me to be able to see this very regularly. Now here is the last one that I'm going to show you of a previous spread, and this one is much cleaner. I appreciate the ability to be able to look back on it. I also, this was one of the first times that I tried to keep up with a mood tracker. Those are also fairly popular in the planner community. I don't keep up with these because I personally don't see the point of tracking these things. But as you can see, I had my solid 4 that I've been really good at, solid 3 that I've been really good at, 4 down here, including my journaling, and then a few that I just wasn't good at. Those are my examples from, those were all actually from 2016, those habit trackers. Now let's take a look at the tracker that I have set up for me presently. So here is this week's spread. This is where I track my weekly to-dos, my goals, my meal planning, and then right here in this little box is my habit tracker. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things that I am currently working on. This does not mean that these are like the highest priority by any means. It's just what I presently want to focus on in this phase of life. So like I said, prayer and Bible study are very important to me, and I'm also trying to do Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning, and the things that I focus on most in my Miracle Morning are my quiet time and my reading time, which I interpret as prayer and Bible study. So that I do in the mornings, and if it's checked off, that also implies that I actually woke up early and did those things. The next is vitamins. Vitamins are super important, so I want to make sure that I take those every single day, my prenatals, as well as drinking the right amount of water. Evening tidy is that 15-minute sweep. I translated it into evening tidy because it is important to me, especially in this phase of life, so that I can have a nice miracle morning if the house is clean when I wake up. Which means that I have to clean it before I go to bed, which I am so bad at. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but after cooking and getting my daughter to bed, I do not want to clean up the whole house. So I need to have it right here as inspiration. Work is my my business, my side hustle that I'm working on right now. I want to make sure that I chip away at that every single day, especially since I am a stay-at-home mom. I have to make time to do this, and sometimes I need a little bit of encouragement. So I try to check that off every single day. 10K steps, I do wear my Fitbit most of the time, and that I count as my cardio. If I can get 10,000 steps in a day, I can check that off. Conditioning is, I've built my own custom workout plan that I have for myself. Each trimester I update it to make sure that it is safe for pregnancy. And I try to do that every single day, as well as stretching. I also find very beneficial. I do teach gymnastics, so I'm able to stretch with the girls that I coach in the evenings, or else I do it after my conditioning. And I am hoping that that will be something beneficial for the eventual labor and delivery that I am going to have to go through, as well as it just being very good for your body. So that is the 3 different categories that I mentioned. I broke exercising into 10K steps, conditioning, and stretching. So that's how I have it set up now. As you can see, since it's in my weekly spread, I see it every day. I update it as often as I can, and I think that it gets used more often. So that is what works for me. All right, so we just looked through all of my habits in previous spreads as well as my current spread, and got some inspiration for different habits that you can track, as well as how you'd like to track them, if it be monthly or weekly. and I hope that this was inspiring for you. I would love to hear from you now. What habits do you want in your life that you are just not consistent in right now? If it be making your bed in the morning, taking your vitamins, going for that walk every day, eating healthy. What is it for you? I'd love to hear in the comments below, and maybe it will be added to next week's habit tracker spread. Until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.